Hari Om. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Let's pray together and invoke the blessings of the Almighty. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Our humble salutations to the Almighty, to the Omnipresent, the Omnipotent, who also has the divine names as Sri Garbhaha Parameshwaraha. To such a Supreme Lord, we offer our humble salutations with Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Prapatti, to seek your grace, your mercy, your blessings, your love, your compassion, your forgiveness, your strength. O Lord, bless us with the divine qualities of Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti, Mumukshutva in much more proportion, only and only to understand thy true nature, to have the first-hand experience, aparokshanubhuti, of thy true self within our hearts in this very life only. We beseech in you that at the end of our lives, we reach thy holy abode. Om Tat Sat. Today, by the grace of the Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara, we are on our Divine Discourse number 355. On the 7th of November 2023, Shobhana Kritnama Samvatsara, Dakshinayana, Sharadrutu, Ashvayujamasa, Krishna Paksha, Bhaumavasare, Dashimyatito, Magha Nakshatra, Brahma Yoge, Vanijakarane. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all make a firm resolve in our minds. Na ham karta, Hari Preranaya, Hari Pritirtha. Our belief in the Almighty is unshakable. Every situation, every circumstance, every incident, every possibility, every happening, be it through a person, place, or object in my life, oh my Lord, I know that it is only at your behest, at your instructions, such situations are coming to me, and I truly know all these are coming only and only to create the right ambience in my life to reach thy holy self. With this firm conviction, I accept everything as a prasada buddhi and live life with the devotion, contentment, faith, and bhakti. Our humble salutations to the entire Guru Parampara once again. Om Sat. Good evening to all of you once again. So, we are on one of the very important junctions where Lord Krishna is teaching us about Naiva Kinchit Karomiti. I am not the doer of anything. Now, when he says I am not the doer of anything, I meaning it talks about the Jiva. We actually. We are not the doer of anything. So whatever is happening in our life, there is this entire cosmos working behind that. So he tells, oh ignorant Jiva, yes, you have not realized what is the fact. To realize something, to realize the truth, let us say, or to realize something which is true or right, you need those real eyes. And what are those real eyes? The real eyes are jnana. Once you get that jnana, that knowledge, which is again, we have been talking several times, that it is the priority and privilege of rare few. So here, Lord Krishna is trying to tell us, you completely come in that frame of mind. It is you, not you, who is the doer. And he explains, in each and every activity of our life, very mundane, routine activities of the say 5 senses, when I see, when I smell, when I touch, when I hear, when I talk, when I walk, when I sleep, when I excrete, all these, he says, the 5 Jnanendriya and 5 Karmendriya. He comes to a point to explain that all these actions are happening with the divine force. So one should not be under the impression that he is the doer of all these actions. And now what is that which binds us into samsara? Samsara means being in the wheel of, or in the cycle of birth and death. When you say that I have done something, then you get the result, good and bad, of that particular action, and you again have to come to enjoy or suffer for those actions. So here he is teaching us how to crush our ego. That is the key vital point which we are going to study over here today. And the verse number 8 and 9, I'll be taking it in much more depths as on today. And let's read the shloka and take it forward. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Naiva Kinchit Karomiti Yukto Manyeta Tattvavita Pashyan Shrinvan Sprishan Jigran Ashnan Gachan Swapan Swashan Pralapan Visrujan Grannan Unmishan Nimishan Api Indriyan Indriyarteshu Vartanta iti dharayan. Now, in our previous class we studied about Naham Karta, Hari Karta. Like everything is done by the Lord and Lord alone. Now here we are going to take our own life, mundane actions of the day and see how we can relate it to the power of or the hand of God being in each and every action. And you are not the real doer per se. You have only put a wrong tag on that saying that I have done this. See, sometimes, let's say somewhere at a function, beautiful arrangements, okay, the decoration, seating, lighting, everything is done so very well. And you're working for a company. You're one of the in the organizing committee, and you are working for that company, and your clients who come to the company for the function, they see and they appreciate. And they come and congratulate you. Actually, you are only paying the bills, let us say. You are in the finance department and you're only paying the bills. The rest of that creativity, hiring a contractor, hiring the lighter, decorator, all this has been done by somebody else. Now when they come and congratulate you, with a smile, you accept it. I did whatever I could. Now, that is what exactly we are doing in our life here. We have done nothing, but we take the credit. And that's how we are getting bound. So, now moving forward. Now, we see how this one is ego has to be crushed, having the right knowledge. And second, how I see that from each and every action of my body and mind, senses, how I can understand the truth and get rid of it. Okay. Now, who gave me the eyes? Suddenly, your eyes pop up. Who gave me the eyes? Yes. I say I see. But now then again move one step further. Who gave me the mind to see that? Now my eyes are there. Now the mind suddenly goes in seeing something, and in front of me, who kept that object? It is He and He alone, the Creator. All these things have come together. Suddenly you see a beautiful sunrise. You have eyes and you have the mindset. Okay, look there. Look. There is a rainbow. There is a sunrise. So it is He and He alone. I have got nothing to do over here. When one gets this understanding of this concept, that behind every karma, I am not the karta. Naham karta hari karta tat puja karma chakilam. I am not the karta over here. It has happened. There is a sunrise happening there, And then somehow my mind itself, it took me towards that sunrise. I enjoy the sight of the sunrise. And then I say, I saw a beautiful sunrise this morning. I say, I saw. So, we, as far as we understand that we are dependent, or we can say we are subordinates. You are not the main driver. We do not have any ownership over here. You are neither the owner of your eyes, nor you are the creator of the sunrise, nor you have asked your mind to go there. So we do not have any ownership in any aspect. So everything is so transparent, and in no way we can say, this is mine. I saw. No, you did not see. The eyes saw, and they are not your eyes also. You have all the time, you have encroached and you said, these are my eyes, these are my ears, this is my nose, this is my skin. We have encroached over here. This is not yours. So one cannot say, in life I want this, I don't want this. So this awareness, when it starts getting strong in someone, and he knows that this is a play, it's a continuous play happening. See, look at your own self. At some point you feel hungry, you eat. You feel thirsty, you drink. You feel sleepy, you sleep off. And at one point of time you get up on your own. Even though you want to sleep, no, but you got up. If you see, there is so many processes, not only this, within your body, involuntary processes, so many things are happening. And the one who is aware, he becomes a drashta, a witness. How is this happening? How did I feel hungry? And when I started eating, there was so much of weakness in me. Suddenly I saw that energy starts rising in my body, in my mind. And then everything is getting digested. We'll get into all these details now. So once you get that slight feeling, understanding, that is true sannyasa. That is what Lord Krishna says. In your actions, you becoming a witness to the action. You detaching from the label that I was doing all this. So that is the pure sannyasatva over here. And with that awareness, if one is even doing action, let him do anything he wants. He knows that he's not truly doing it. As it was told in the 18th verse of the 4th chapter, Karmani akarmani yah pashet. Karmani akarmani yah pashet. And now here in this 8th shloka, what he's saying is, Naiva kinchit karomiti. Yukto manyeta tattvavita. That is the real seer. So if you look at this in one more way, ask yourself, what am I? Now we have all learned, I am the reflection of the Paramatma. Chaitanya Shakti reflected on this mind, the mind which I have, which you have, in all these minds. When that Chaitanya Shakti is reflected, it becomes a Chaitana Shakti, and it gives that strength to the mind to operate, to the body to operate, to the senses to operate. So once you know that you are just a pratibimba means a reflection. So if anything is observed by that reflection, it is obvious that it is done by the object itself. Like for example, you're standing in front of a mirror. Now in the mirror, what do you see? You see your reflection. So if the image in the mirror has to move, that image will move only when you move. who is standing in front of the mirror. Now, if I do not move when I'm standing in the front of the mirror, then how will the image move? Or how will the reflection in the mirror move? If I laugh, the reflection will also laugh, which is in the mirror. If I cry, the reflection will also cry. So will anyone say that the reflection, it laughed or it cried on its own? Now you are standing still in front of the mirror and suddenly you see that your reflection starts laughing. Won't it be shocking? In the same way, this reflection does not have any sort of an independence of its own. Nahi pratibimbasya kriya, nahi bimba kriyeyo kriyavan. It does not have, the reflection does not have any independence whatsoever. That is Tattvavita. So understand that whatever is happening in your body, in your mind, and actions with your senses, they are nothing but the reflection of that consciousness. So, Pratibimbosmi tava, I am just a reflection of that. Visualize in your mind, as I told you, you are standing in front of the mirror and your reflection, it just does what you are doing. One who understands that I am this reflected self, he becomes a Tattvavita, meaning he has understood the concept of this creation. Now this way, this understanding is very crystal clear that I am a reflection. So he becomes an independent doer. I am not laughing, I am not crying, I am an image, and my true self is up there meaning in front of the mirror. So, Paramatma does everything through me. Then why? Why does he do only through me, not through others? Because he wants to enrich the soul towards salvation. It has found the soul eligible to be taken towards self-realization. So this way, the pride which is there in us, now that pride will slowly start melting down. It will completely get crushed. In a way you can say, it will just get crushed. Because it is understanding, oh my God, I thought I am doing, but that was my ignorance. I am not the doer. I now got to understand that I am not the true doer, that I am only a reflection over here. So this has to come in a profound manner of understanding. Tena tektena bunjitaha. And see how life becomes. When you have understood that any thought coming to you, you have got no role to play there. Any action done by you, you have got no role to play there. Tena tektena bunjitaha. Let go and rejoice. Rejoice. You just rejoice in that. What is given by him? What is allotted by that Paramatma? You just start enjoying that. Observing, you are a drashta. There is nothing beyond that. This is one of the statements from the Ishavasya Upanishad. This is in fact the first shloka of the Ishavasya Upanishad. Ishavasyamidam sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tektena bunjitaha ma gradaha kasyar dhanam. It says, just accept this. Do not encroach anyone's right or property. Whatever you are, what is happening in your life, know that it is only the reflection. You are the reflection, and there is somebody else who is being reflected through your soul. That is then you become the adhikari for karma yoga, you become a tattvavita. Without this jnana, there is no karma yoga. One who understands this way, he becomes naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavita. Now, such a person, he has clearly understood, then I am not doing anything. Yes, who said you are doing? Ignorance and your non-understanding of the fact, you are thinking that you are doing. Now let's get into more details, then it will be very convincing, and by the end of this class you will know that, my God, I thought I was doing all this. But then you will say, I'll be a fool to say that. So now let's take one by one. So what does this shloka say? Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavita pashyan. Pashyan means seeing. So now the Lord Krishna tries to say, when you are seeing, take for example, you are seeing pashyan. Although you are seeing, I am not the real seer. Who has given you this body? Yes, the Lord has given me this body. And who has given me the eyes? The Lord has given me these eyes. Did you say that I want eyes of this specification and this kind and that kind, and were you born? No. So, the Lord kept an object. After having given me eyes, He has kept an object in front of me. And then He gave me the mind to see that object. So it is all what it is, everything is what He only did. I have done nothing. This becomes a concrete karma yoga pattern. Whatever these eyes are seeing, I did not put them in front of me. Eyes are also not put or selected or owned by me. So the eyes, the mind to see something, and the object to be seen, all this becomes since our way of thinking is like right from as a child, not only as a child of in this life, but several lives, our mind is conditioned to think in that way. I am seeing, I am doing. So when you start seeing that object and these eyes and the mind all working in coordination, then it becomes worship of God. Now, what is this worship of God? Knowing the greatness. Thinking that yes, there is some superpower working in me, and because of that I am able to see. And for this, do we need to be a great intellectual person or a scientist? If the jiva in a person goes away, what will that body see? It has eyes. And yes, those eyes those eyes have got life. You can donate it to somebody and they can see. But the instrument, those so-called eyes, the electricity or the prana tattva behind those eyes has gone. So understand that because of that prana tattva behind these eyes, you were able to see. Every seeing, then what happens? You know that just move one step backward. Oh, now you have a fan, you have a fridge, you have a AC, you have a TV, no electricity. What will work in your house? In the same way, this prana tattva is like that electricity, and all this TV, washing machine, mixie, fridge, all these are like these senses what we have got. And know that it is only God is doing all this. Now, we'll take a small story and we'll try to understand how divinity can be experienced in this simple so-called seeing, which we have been doing enormously in our daily lives. As they say, amongst all the five senses, eyes are the most used. Okay, so in a small quiet village which was in between the hills, there lived a humble artist called Maya. Now Maya possessed an extraordinary gift, the ability to see beauty and divinity in everything around her. So she saw the world not merely with her eyes, but with her heart and soul. Now that's what we are going to learn from Maya, how she has that knack, technique of perceiving just by perceiving divinity. So one day, a traveler, he arrived in that small village, and since he was being traveling for quite some time, he wanted to rest for a while in the nature over there. And when he was resting under a tree, some people came and then they were talking about the village and then various people, speciality of the village. And then Maya's name was mentioned to this traveler. So this traveler was intrigued by this Maya's unique perception. He says, I have been traveling, I see so many things, but what is that Maya is seeing, which I am not seeing? So then he says, I have to meet Maya. So now he goes and he meets Maya. The traveler asks Maya, how is that you see the world so differently? What is your secret? Now Maya, as I told you, was a very naive, gentle, sober, innocent lady. Now she smiled warmly and gestured towards the bustling village square. Now you have normally every town or a village or a city has MG road, something like that. So, and in that, or you have an MG circle, Mahatma Gandhi circle. Okay, so she says, come, I'll take you to this MG Mahatma Gandhi circle, and now I will show you what I see and what you are also seeing, because with my eyes and your eyes, we are seeing the same scene. Okay, so he says, come, let's go and see. Now as they strolled through the village, they arrived at the circle, and now Maya paused at various scenes as they were traveling towards the circle. There they saw a vendor was selling fruits, children were playing by a stream, an old man was feeding pigeons in the park. Now, are these something different which we have not seen? We also see all this. Okay, so with each pause, Maya started narrating and sharing a story, weaving the depth and meaning into seemingly simple moments. Somebody is feeding the pigeons, children are playing by the stream, and there is a fruit or a vegetable vendor selling fruits and vegetables. Now, she starts explaining, like she stopped before the fruit vendor, where there were some vibrant oranges and juicy berries which were displayed in a shop. She says, look beyond the surface. Each piece of fruit is a gift from the earth, a miracle of growth and nourishment. When you truly see the fruit, you witness the divine abundance that provides sustenance to all of us. Be it this fruit or be it this vegetable. From where did it come? It is a miracle of growth. It was a small seed at some point. And with the earth, water, sunshine, care and nourishment, it has become a fruit now. And what happens when you eat that fruit or that vegetable? It gives you energy. Can you look at that energy in that fruit? No. Yes, we see fruits, we see vegetables, but we never saw that connect. How this fruit is born. Somewhere it was planted by somebody. Somewhere it was a seed initially. And then it became slowly, it became a sapling, a tree, a plant, and then a tree, and from then there were flowers in that tree, and that then flower became a small tiny raw fruit or a vegetable, and then eventually that grew into its full size and it was filled with nourishment. Okay, he was already shaken by this. Now, next, they watched the children playing by the stream. Now the children are laughing. Somebody is throwing water at the other and they're making fun of each other, and there is so much of laughter which has filled the air around the place where all the children are playing. Now there is so much of innocence and joy as well over there. So Maya explains, here lies a reminder of the purity of the human spirit. Now who goes to look into all that? He says, look, look, look. There is purity in the hearts of these children. So when you see these children, you witness the divine spark that resides within them. There is no jealousy, there is no ego, there is no pride. So all these children are playing with that divinity within them, which is exuberating and expressed from the children in full force. Now we understand, yes, I didn't see this. I used to see children, I used to see them making noise, I used to see them laugh, but this divinity and simplicity and honesty is something which I missed to see. Yes, next. Now they observed the old man feeding pigeons. Now Maya says, notice his gentleness. He cares for these creatures which are small and seemingly insignificant. In this act of kindness, you witness the divine love that flows through all these beings. Now here you are seeing humans, you are seeing some dogs also over there, you are seeing some pigeons also over there. Now he is feeding the pigeons, and how they are coming and eating the grain which he throws at them. So there is that love. Otherwise, what are those pigeons? His relatives or his friends? No, he has got that love, that care, that concern, that kindness. He says, look at this act. Now with each story, so as we see only kindness and not the divinity behind it. We see the laughter and not the divinity behind it. We see the fruit and we don't see the divinity behind it. So as this each and every story was told, the traveler's perception shifted. He began to see beyond the surface, beyond the labels and judgments, and deep into the heart of each and every experience. So he saw that how all these mundane scenes which we see, how they all are a tapestry of interconnected moments, each carrying a spark of the divine. So from that day onwards, the traveler, he carried Maya's teachings with him. He looked at the world with new profound wonder, recognizing that each encounter was an opportunity to witness the divine in all forms and in full glory. And in his own way, he became a bearer of the gift of true seeing, which he learned from this lady Maya, sharing the transformative power of perception with all whom he met. So that's why they say you should walk in nature and start seeing the divinity. That is the true yatra actually. Not going by a chopper or by extravagant means, and what you saw the idol and you came back. That was not the purpose of a yatra before. They say you have to walk, and while you are walking, you experience in that entire journey, you experience that divinity. Move away from the mundane routine life, and for that period of time, try to keep your mind on this divinity and experience. So in this way, every seeing with this perception, it becomes a worship of God. Now, after seeing, Pashyan, comes second one is Shrinvan, ears. So God has given me ears. And He gave me the mind also to listen to good things. He gave me the right people to tell me also good things. And He gave me the opportunity to listen to good things. See, if you carefully observe, don't we get to listen from people saying, when you ask, when you ask about some people about their progress on sadhana, what they were doing, you knew at some point they were pursuing spiritual studies. How is your sadhana going on? And how are you pursuing your spiritual studies? They say, you see, nowadays I don't get time. I have too many things on my plate and I'm not getting the right mindset also. I'm too preoccupied. Don't we listen to this? So, we listening religiously, where we get the right mindset, we are having the right technology, and where we have the will and determination to pursue. Don't you call this as purely God's grace? For how many people is it possible? So thinking and listening on these lines, when you start this whole 1.5 hour period of time, it becomes a pure worship unto the Lord. It becomes a yajna. So when this listening, any kind of a listening, so have that feeling in your mind that it is the Lord who has given you the ears. The Lord has given you the sound to what you have to listen, appropriate thing to be listened, and somebody to convey that to you, the right subject to be listened, and the mindset also to listen and understand. So this way, he now talks about, after moving towards seeing and listening, Pashyan, Shrinvan, Sprishan, touch. Now this is also what, in every touch, you have pleasant and unpleasant things. Say sometimes, let's say you're walking, and suddenly what happens is, we touch a snake. And it has happened, not that it is, I'm just giving an extreme example. Or I can say you touch some poop over there. Okay, I'm giving a snake. So now you didn't want to touch that. Now it is He who made me touch that tail of that snake, let's say. And by the time it could hit back, you had the right moment to escape. You are quick to escape. Now who did this? So this was about a touch. Or you saw a beautiful kitten or a puppy, then you touched it and you felt good. Who gave this experience? So this sense of touch, or a beautiful child. Somebody comes with a beautiful child and you see that child, you touch that child, it smiles at you. Now, we do not have any control on our thoughts. These are situations which come over there, where you confronted a snake or a poop or a kitten or a child or a small calf. All these which was in front of you, somehow you got an opportunity to touch them and you felt pleasant and unpleasant. Now we think we are functioning out of our free will. No. Many a times somebody gets a snake bite, or somebody experiences a crow shit falling on them. Did anybody want to experience this? Or somebody gets a dog bite. Now we have done nothing for this, but it happened. So we should not think that it is happening where I did this and something happened. It is they are functioning, not functioning out of our free will. These are all happening by the play of the cosmos. Thoughts do not come to one's mind as per our choice. Understand this. You ask a question, where do they originate? Then you will get an answer. So in this way, even the feeling of touch, see that whatever good, pleasant, unpleasant has happened, understand that there is something behind this which is playing, and you don't have to blame anybody for that. You have to only experience that divinity. The next one, jigran, smell. Now we get to smell the fragrance of a flower, a fruit, or a nice cooked meal. Now this experience also is due to that Paramatma. If I didn't have the sense of smell, let's say, I didn't have the sense of smell, I could not have had this experience. It is because of that Paramatma who has given me this sense of smell, I am able to experience. So once you get the approach in this way towards life, towards the simple act of smelling, that act of smelling also becomes a worship. Whenever you smell something pleasant, say, yes, God, you gave me the sense of smell and I'm able to experience it. Ashnan, eating. Pranagnihotra. We say Agnihotra, right? So here it is prana. The prana shakti in us has the capacity to digest. So when you eat, it is nothing but a pranagnihotra. In how many ways? See how many ways we can approach. Remember God. One, we see so many beggars begging for food. There are some beggars who are eating from garbage. We have seen this with our own eyes. God has not given such a kind of situation to us. He has given us that Anna Yoga. This is one way you can see how blessed we are. So then you thank God. But normally what happens is we have forgotten all this. So here what Lord Krishna says is, these are small acts where you need to remind yourself. The very fact that a plate of food comes in front of you, oh Lord, I didn't have to go and beg for this food somewhere. I didn't have to go and pick up this food from garbage somewhere. Right royally, it is coming in front of me. And I am so grateful to you for this. So bring in that devotion, that aspect of divinity and worship there. In this world, we also see so many disparities. Some work so hard. Morning till night they work. And how much do they get at the end of the day? 500, 600 or 700 rupees at best. Now there are some people who hardly work. They have their secretaries, they have their team, and they keep coming and asking them for a decision, and these people, I don't know how much they listen, and then they say yes or no or whatever it is, and the rest is all executed by their team, and they earn lakhs in a day, even crores also. So it is, when you look at this, if we do not believe that there is some punya or papa, some adrushta shakti, there is somewhere which monitors our life. Unless and until we understand this, we will not be able to appreciate. As simple as if, say, now this is an olden days example. Somebody is sitting in a palanquin and 10 others are carrying it. Now when you say, how is it that person is sitting in that palanquin? You will say he has money. He has wealth, money, so he has bought a palanquin and he has engaged those 10 people to carry it. So he is rich. And why is the other one not able to sit over there and is carrying? You will say obviously he is poor. Now that is very easy to say and understand, but if you go into depth, why one person is rich and why somebody else is poor? So then we have to agree to the fact that there is something known as adrishta phala. Unless and until you accept this fact of there is some adrishta phala. Adrishta means seen, adrishta means unseen. So along with every action, there is a great element of an unseen factor which comes to us along with the work which we have done. Now look at the entire solar system. All the stars, the galaxies. Now if you want to hoist a flag on 26th Jan or on 15th August, what do? You have to erect a pole. And for that pole, you need to give a foundation or support, concrete, whatever it is. Otherwise, the pole will fall down. Now look at this entire earth. It is floating in free air. Not only the earth, all the planets are floating. And they are not only floating, they are also moving. When you say, what adrishta are you talking here? Look at this gravitational force. Where is this gravitational force from and how it is functioning? And just to recollect, we have discussed about this. Our earth is spinning on its own axis at 1680 kilometers per hour. Not only spinning on its axis, it is also rotating in a certain orbit around the sun along with the other planets, 8 planets, at the speed of 107,000 kilometers per hour. And it's not that the earth is rotating around the sun along with the 9 planets is rotating around the Milky Way. And what is that speed? 8 lakh kilometers per hour. Not per year, per hour, 8 lakh kilometers. The 9 planets are going round the sun. And now, what is the size of this Milky Way? The size of this Milky Way, this sun, with its 9 planets, to cover the distance of that one complete round, which is at the speed of 8 lakh kilometers per hour, it will take for one round 25 crore years. That is the size of our Milky Way. Now, how many Milky Ways are there in existence? Based on the current science, on their technology, telescopes, whatever it is, they have spoken of 25,000 crore galaxies are there. Can you understand? So, when you start appreciating these facts, know that there is a larger sphere to the understanding of whatever you have. We are ignorant. As we keep learning, we get to understand. And now if you have that devotion, faith to accept things in life, you will start growing in life because you're learning. So you know, just like this gravitational force, there is some adrishta phala working in our life. So one cannot get answers from science altogether. Vijnana, what we call, So Vedanta Vijnana Sunishchitartaha Sanyasa Yoga Dhyataya Shuddha Sattvaha. So this way, the food which we have taken it for granted is given by the grace of God. Such should be our approach in life. Before eating, apart from thanking for the food, we should also apart from thanking God, we should thank one more important sphere is there. Our dear ones who cook the food and give us so-called ready-to-eat basis. Imagine if you say, I want lunch, and they come and keep all the pulses, the grains, the chilies, the vegetables. They just keep in front of you and say, eat. That is also food only, But there is some human force which has taken that love and care and it has properly cooked and brought it in a state where it is ready to eat. And it is now you can eat, digest. Now, okay, when you say eat and digest, it doesn't stop here. Now that food comes over here, God has given you, okay, fine. And somebody has prepared it in a position so that you eat it well. Now we say, oh God, whatever I eat. Now the Lord is doing so much work there. And he finally, what he does? He ensures that what is needed for the body, he keeps it. And what is not needed, he throws it out. All your prana, apana, vyana, udana, samana, these 5 actions in the prana shakti, they get activated. Pranaya swaha, panaya swaha, vyanaya swaha, udanaya swaha, samanaya swaha, pranagnihotra. This becomes a yajna. This whole eating, right from the time you have thanked God for getting that food, for seeing that energy in that food. Remember that Maya story of that orange, that berry, those vegetables. How from earth, from somewhere they have grown, and some have grown for years. Now, when the seed was planted, and by the time you got a mango or an orange, 1 year or 2 years or 5 years, it has taken that long to come. And from what stage to what stage transformation has happened. So here what Lord Krishna says is, you recognize this. Once you recognize this, then what happens is, you start valuing what you have. First you have to understand. And after understanding, when you start recognizing the value, the divinity behind each and every act which you have been doing and which you have been experiencing, so then that mindfulness itself becomes a state of worship. Because you are doing something or the other. You are either doing with your 5 pranas, 5 jnanendriyas, or with your 5 karmendriyas. And of course the 5 pranas and the mind. So all the sukshma sharira, so-called sukshma sharira, is in action. And when you become a witness to this action, it's all by practice. So don't we look at a person with vengeance or with love? Now, how did it happen? Because you have practiced it. You look at a person whom you like with love, whom you dislike with hatred. So now the same way, this is also one of the practice, having this knowledge. Now look at when you see, when you hear, when you smell, when you eat, what happens? When you touch, you are looking with that factor of divinity. So this is something new which we have to practice. And the next one is gachan, walking. So now let's take, from the spiritual point of view, what is important is Pashyan Shranvan. If we have ears, that is good enough for us to, in Vedanta especially, or in spiritual study, if you have good ears, you can listen, you can understand knowledge, and you can practice it. And then by seeing what you have listened to, then there is an enhancement in the understanding factor. But here for Vedanta study, you really don't need this sense of smell. Okay, so now that apart. So Atma Vare Drishtavyah Shrotravyah, as they say. To understand Atma, you need to listen and to see. Okay, now after this, after the eyes and ears, sprishan, we have seen touch, smelling, and then eating. Now the 5 jnanendriyas are covered. Now we come to the karmendriyas. The most important is the legs. Now if you want to visit any pilgrimage place and you want to see God's glory there, legs are extremely important. Taveva kevalo upado kara. Meaning what? It is, you need your legs and also your kara means your hands, that which can make us offer pranams to the Lord, and legs to take us to different places. So that way, gachan, walking. And now one cannot say that I will use my legs only for divine purposes. No, if at all I have to go, I'll go for a pilgrimage, or I go to a temple, or I go for a spiritual class. You cannot say that, because if somebody is sick, you'll have to go and visit a hospital or their home to console them. You need to buy some provisions, some vegetables, fruits. You need to go to the market. Or if you are unwell, you will have to go to a doctor. So now what Lord Krishna says here is, while you are doing any kind of a walk, be it to a marketplace, be it to a doctor, or be it to visit a friend, think that you are doing pradakshina. Not necessarily you have to go to a pilgrimage or a temple where you go there, and if you go round the sanctum sanctorium, then only you feel that, oh, I have done pradakshina. No. Any walk, you just think that, yes, now this walk, with that divinity, it becomes a puja. Somebody asks you, hello, how are you? Long time no see. Yeah, I was traveling and this and that. Now, how come I see you at this time? Then you say, no, I had a very heavy meal today, and I thought I'll just take a stroll around the building. Now, a person without the knowledge, what does he say? I am taking a stroll around the building. Why? Because I had a heavy meal, I want to ease myself. Now, that Lord is Sarvagata. That building which you are taking around, the Lord being Sarvagata, visualize the Lord. Just like you visualize in a temple, you visualize and you take rounds, isn't it? Pradakshina. So in the same way, visualize the Lord in that building, and you are not taking just a walk. Walk is of course there, it will ease yourself, but have that feeling that I am walking in with devotion to the Lord. It becomes not a kriya or an action, it becomes worship. So to walk, God gave you legs. What if He had not given us legs? Wherever you reach any place, know that God has given you legs. And because He has given you the legs, He has given you the mind to understand where to go, how to go. And not only the mind, He has also given you the strength to go there. Now, what is your contribution in this? Imagine for a moment. Legs He gave. The mind and the Google Map app He has given you to check how to go. And then the strength also to go He has given you. Now, in that, if you say that I went there, that is foolish. It is the Lord who has given you everything to achieve. So make this an habit. While we do any action, have this thought that I am not the doer. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavita. Now we'll take one more. Swapan. Swapan means sleeping. So far, everything was in a state when we were awake. Okay. Now, when it comes to being asleep, what is sleeping? Pradhanyata lingati, they say. One who is extremely close to God when he is sleeping. Because there is no sorrow. While when you are awake, there is sorrow, there is joy. And when you are dreaming, there is again joy or there is sorrow. But there is no sorrow when you are in deep sleep. There is bliss, there is ananda. But there is a slight twist over there. Although we know that there is a bliss and ananda over there, because we are in ignorance, we don't recognize this, or we fail to recognize this. At that state, in that deep sleep state, you are very close to God. Now, God gave me this sleep and He kept me in His arms. Have that feeling. During that time when I am sleeping, It is, I am sleeping in his arms, just like a mother is holding a baby. Now today, sleeping without sleeping pills is a great boon actually if you go to see. So God has given you, if at all you're sleeping without sleeping pills, God has given you such a great gift of life. Now after sleeping, He woke you up at one point. Imagine if He had not woken you up. What would have happened? It is both going to sleep and getting up from sleep is all by the grace of God. So this way, when you feel sleepy, know that now this act is again with the grace of God which is happening. And I'm going to eventually slowly go from being awake to sleep, dream, and then deep sleep. I'll be getting into the arms of the Lord. This attitude, if one lives this life, so this entire life becomes worship. What is the use of that 10 minutes or 20 minutes? Or say even 2 hours, let's say, you sit in a puja room in a temple and then you talk to 10 people and say, today I did puja for so long and this and that. What is the use? So Gachan, Swapan, Swashan, everything. Make this as a worship unto the Lord. So this should be our attitude in life. And how you can, once you develop this concept, as the traveler learned from that wise lady Maya, I look at each and every thing which I see with this power of divinity behind it. So in the same way, we have to cultivate this habit. It may not just come overnight. You will have to keep again and again practicing. Just like you are learning a shloka, let's say. First time you will have to read word by word, meaning letter by letter. And then you can read one word, then the second word, the third word, and then you are able to very comfortably read the entire line with ease, and then the entire shloka with ease. How did you do it? By repeatedly practicing it. In the same way, when you start seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, tasting, walking, sleeping, you have to see that divinity behind that force, behind that action. Then the whole thing becomes a worship. You don't have to do any special worship there. Your living itself becomes worship. Your life itself becomes devotion and worship. So let's keep this in our mind, embedded, and let's practice. Now the next class, which we'll try to have after Diwali, I would request all of you, before this, say Sunday, if you all can make a small recording, a duration could be somewhere between 2 to 4 minutes, where I want you all to share what you all have learned so far, which has impacted you the most. And what is the impact in your life? Earlier, what were you, and now what you are? What was those facts which brought that dramatic change in your life? Because I've seen many learned from somebody else's insights. Oh, this really changed my life. When somebody said, then they might not have caught it. So they were able to grasp, and it has transformed somebody else's life also. In this way, you take the key points and say these things which have impacted me more, and earlier I was of this kind and now I am this. So share your views and we'll play in the next class. Okay, I will announce when will be the next class, since we're having over the weekend we have the Diwali festival. So we'll probably after the festival we'll immediately try to take it up. Hare Krishna Arpanamastu. Now, we take up the shloka 41 of the Vishnu Sahasranama. Udbhavakshobano deva Shri Garbha Parameshwaraha Karanam Karanam Karta Vikarta Gahano Guhaha. 376 Shri Garbha. Now, containing all glories within, one in whom all glories, one in whom are all glories, meaning that Aishwarya, the glory of the Lord is the universe, and this universe resides in him. And therefore, all powers and glories that are manifested in the universe are also ever in him. With this quality, he is called as Shri Garbha. 377 Parameshwaraha. The Supreme means Parama, Ishvara means Lord. Now, fanatics generally interpret the word to mean as the only Lord, in the sense that all other concepts of God are wrong. Now, the large-hearted, tolerant rishis of old would have never meant such a meaning. It could only mean that he is the supreme consciousness whose expressions are all the deities. The term Ishvara indicates both might and glory. Therefore, Parameshwara means one who is omnipotent and all glorious. To such a divine Lord who is Shri Garbha and Parameshwaraha, we offer our humble salutations, seek his grace, mercy and blessings. Now let's chant the Dhanvantari mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Our humble salutations to the Lord of Health, Dhanvantari, to give us the requisite health to aid self-realization. Om Tat Sat. Now let's do the Sakshatkara Siddhi Yoga Dhyana. Relax, sit comfortably, head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Now focus on your breath. Your back and body is straight, but at the same time it is relaxed. Relax your forehead, your face. Now, after having observed your prana, slowly shift your attention to the mind. Visualize the mind and the thoughts in your mind. Without being judgmental about the thoughts, observe the reduction in number of thoughts. You gradually see there is a state of no thoughts. See the consciousness reflecting on your mind. That reflected consciousness gives energy to the mind to function. In that mind, there are no thoughts. And you are no more entangled with the mind. You are a witness to those thoughts. Slowly shift your attention to your prana shakti again. Focus on your breath going in and out. Become aware of yourself. Become aware of where you are seated. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Rub your palm. Place them on our eyes. Gently and lovingly open your eyes. Together, we offer today's Gita Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord. Seek His grace, love, mercy, and blessings. Naham karta hari karta. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam namama. Om Sat.